Echoes Unbound Fear. The Disturbed Dreamer. Emily awoke with a start, her heart pounding in her chest. Beads of sweat clung to her forehead as she tried to shake off the remnants of the nightmare that had gripped her in its icy claws. She glanced at the clock. 3:00 a.m. Sleep had become an elusive stranger, and Emily was its unwilling captive. Night after night, the dreams haunted her. They weren't typical, nonsensical phantasms that fade with the morning light. These were vivid, malevolent visions that lingered, leaving Emily in a perpetual state of unease. In the darkness of her room, she couldn't shake the feeling that something unseen was watching her, a lurking shadow in the corners of her mind. She stumbled to the bathroom, hoping the cold water away the remnants of the dream. As she splashed her face, Emily caught a glimpse of her reflection in the mirror-wide eyes, haunted by the terrors that unfolded in the realm of sleep. Exhaustion etched deep lines on her face, turning her youthful features into a mask of unrest. Returning to bed, Emily reluctantly closed her eyes, dreading the descent into the nocturnal horrors that awaited. The room seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy, and the air hung heavy with the weight of the unknown. As sleep claimed her once more, the dreams resumed their wicked dance. This time, Emily found herself in a desolate landscape cloaked in perpetual darkness. A chilling wind whispered through unseen corridors, carrying with it the anguished cries of the forgotten. She stumbled forward, her footsteps echoing in the void, each one a melancholic drumbeat heralding her descent into the abyss. A figure materialized in the distance, a silhouette devoid of features, yet radiating an aura of malevolence that sent shivers down Emily's spine. It seemed to glide toward her effortlessly, defying the laws of the dream world. Panic set in as she tried to escape, but the landscape morphed around her, trapping her in an ever-shifting labyrinth. Emily awoke once again, gasping for breath. The room was suffused with an oppressive silence, broken only by the rhythmic ticking of the clock. She reached for her phone, its cold glow revealing countless missed calls and messages concerned friends and family, wondering why she had withdrawn from the world. Days turned into nights, and the nightmares persisted, their intensity growing with each passing hour of sleeplessness. Emily became a mere shell of herself, haunted by the specter of her own mind. The boundary between wakefulness and the dream realm blurred, leaving her in a perpetual state of disorientation. Desperation took hold, and Emily sought solace in the words of sleep experts and psychologists. Yet, their theories crumbled in the face of the relentless darkness that gripped her soul. The visions continued to torment her, each night a descent into an abyss where the boundaries of reality dissolved. As Emily faced the relentless onslaught of her own subconscious, an unsettling realization took root. Sleep, once a sanctuary, had become a prison of perpetual terror, and there was no escape. The first chapter of her nightmarish journey had unfolded, setting the stage for a descent into the unknown that would defy the very nature of her existence. The unseen presence. The night air hung heavy as Emily drifted into uneasy slumber, her room immersed in a dim, foreboding darkness. The dreams returned with a vengeance, dragging her back into the ethereal realm where reality bled into nightmare. As Emily traversed the dreamscapes, the shadows coalesced into a distinct form, a spectral figure that trailed her every step. Its presence was felt rather than seen, an intangible malevolence that sent ripples through the fabric of her subconscious. The more Emily tried to escape, the closer the shadowy entity crept, a relentless pursuer in the twisted corridors of her own mind. In the dream, the figure spoke in hushed whispers, words that slithered into Emily's consciousness like serpents. They were indistinct, yet laden with a dark weight that bore down on her sanity. The dreams became a macabre dance, a symbiotic waltz between the tormented dreamer and the unseen presence that reveled in her distress. Waking in a cold sweat, Emily found herself no longer alone in her room. The oppressive aura of the dream lingered, casting an unseen veil over the waking world. Paranoia gripped her as she scanned the shadows, half expecting the spectral figure to materialize before her eyes. Days turned into a harrowing blur as Emily oscillated between waking terror and restless exhaustion. The figure from the dream became an unwelcome companion, a ghostly specter that seemed to transcend the boundaries of the dream world. Emily's waking hours were haunted by a constant sense of being watched, of unseen eyes boring into the core of her being. Seeking refuge in daylight proved futile. The figure's presence cast a long, disquieting shadow over every corner of Emily's life. Friends and family noticed her growing isolation. The once vibrant woman, now a mere reflection of the horrors that clung to her soul. Desperation drove Emily to research the supernatural, grasping at fragments of folklore and occult knowledge. As she delved deeper, a chilling realization settled in the shadowy entity was no mere figment of her imagination. It was a malevolent force, a manifestation of something ancient and insidious that had latched onto her in the depths of the dream world. With trepidation, Emily confronted the figure in her dreams, demanding answers that eluded her waking mind. The entity responded with cryptic messages, alluding to a connection that transcended the boundaries of time and space. A pact forged in the shadows, binding Emily to a destiny she could neither escape nor comprehend. As the nightmarish saga unfolded, Emily found herself teetering on the precipice of madness. The line between dream and reality blurred, and the unseen presence grew more tangible with each passing night. It whispered promises of eternal torment, a fate intertwined with Emily's very essence. In the waking world, the shadows deepened, and Emily's struggle became a battle against an adversary that defied the laws of both dreams and reality. The second chapter of her nightmarish journey had begun, a descent into heart of darkness, where the boundaries of the seen and unseen merged into a malevolent dance of perpetual fear, haunting wakefulness. Sleep became an elusive phantom, slipping through Emily's grasp like grains of sand. The boundary between the dream world and waking reality blurred, until every moment felt like a delicate dance on the precipice of madness. As Emily lay in her bed, the room shrouded in the dim glow of a sleep-deprived night, a strange paralysis gripped her. It wasn't just the inability to move, it was an otherworldly force that held her in its spectral embrace. The atmosphere crackled with a malevolent energy as shadows danced in silent mockery. In this state of sleep paralysis, the nightmares manifested in the waking hours. The unseen presence, once confined to the realm of dreams, crept into the tangible world. Emily's room became a stage for the macabre, shadows morphing into grotesque shapes that whispered ancient secrets and taunted her sanity. The whispers, once confined to the dream world, now echoed through the stillness of Emily's room. Words of torment and cryptic prophecies intertwined, a dissonant symphony that clawed at the edges of her consciousness. The line between dream and reality continued to erode, leaving Emily in a perpetual state of haunting wakefulness. With each episode of sleep paralysis, the spectral figure drew closer, its form materializing in the gloom with a haunting elegance. Emily could feel its unseen eyes boring into her soul, an unrelenting gaze that left her trembling in the grip of an otherworldly force. Desperation etched lines on Emily's face as she sought solace in the waking world, but the nightmare had become an inescapable part of her reality. The once familiar corners of her room now harbored the unknown, shadows taking on a life of their own as they converged in a sinister ballet. As Emily's nights devolved into a twisted masquerade, her physical and mental well-being deteriorated. Dark circles adorned her once bright eyes, and the whispers in the night became a constant cacophony, drowning out the remnants of her sanity. She existed in a liminal space, neither fully awake nor entirely within the clutches of the dream realm. The line between night and day blurred into a seamless tapestry of torment. Emily's waking hours became a surreal extension of the nightmares, a distorted reality where the rules of the mundane world no longer applied. The once clear boundaries of her mind fractured, and the haunting wakefulness became an indelible mark on her existence. In her desperate quest for reprieve, Emily sought the counsel of sleep specialists and therapists. Yet, their diagnoses crumbled in the face of the surreal phenomena that gripped her nights. The waking world, once a haven of clarity, became a twisted mirror reflecting the malevolent dance that unfolded in the depths of her subconscious. The third chapter of Emily's nightmarish odyssey had begun, a descent into a twilight realm where the boundaries of sleep and wakefulness merged into a surreal nightmare that defied all rationality. The haunting wakefulness became her constant companion, a relentless reminder that, for her, the realms of dreams and reality had become indistinguishable, entwined in a dance of perpetual fear. Whispers in the night. Emily's nights became a symphony of whispers, the ethereal voices weaving through the darkness like phantom threads. Each night, as she lay in the suffocating silence, the air seemed to tremble with the weight of unseen words, like the murmurs of ancient spirits echoing through the corridors of time. The whispers varied in intensity, sometimes distant and indistinct, and at other times an insidious hiss that crawled beneath the surface of her consciousness. Emily strained to decipher their cryptic messages, but the language remained elusive, a spectral tongue that danced on the edge of comprehension. One night, as the whispers reached a fevered pitch, Emily discerned fragments of sentences that seemed to coalesce into a chilling narrative. "Awaken the sleeper," they hissed, "and a key lies in the shadows." The words echoed through her mind like a haunting refrain, leaving her with a profound sense of disquiet. In the waking world, the whispers persisted. Emily's apartment, once a haven of familiarity, now resonated with unseen voices that seemed to emanate from the very walls. Shadows slithered across the floor, their movements synchronized with the cadence of the whispers, creating a disorienting tableau of surreal horror. Driven by a relentless need for understanding, Emily delved into the occult and ancient lore. She scoured dusty tomes and online forums, seeking the key to unlock the enigma that had invaded her life. The whispers, it seemed, held the key to a malevolent force that transcended the boundaries of the dream realm. As she immersed herself in the arcane, Emily discovered references to a dark entity, a sleeper in the shadows that fed on the fear of the living. The ritualistic whispers served as a conduit, a bridge between the mortal realm and the malevolent sleeper that lay dormant in the depths of the unseen. The realization sent a chill down Emily's spine. The entity she encountered in her dreams was not a random specter, but a manifestation of something far more ancient and sinister. It was a sentinel of the sleeper, a harbinger of the impending awakening. Haunted by the weight of this revelation, Emily grappled with a growing sense of urgency. The whispers in the night became urgent pleas, guiding her towards a dark understanding that promised both revelation and peril. As she deciphered the cryptic messages, a sense of doom loomed over her, the realization that she was entwined in a cosmic tapestry beyond her control. With each passing night, Emily felt the boundaries of her reality dissolve. The whispers in the night grew more insistent, urging her to embrace the shadows and unlock the dormant power within. The apartment, once a sanctuary, transformed into a sinister stage for an otherworldly drama, shadows twisting into grotesque shapes that mirrored the malevolent dance of the unseen sleeper. The fourth chapter of Emily's harrowing journey unfolded, a descent into the heart of a cosmic conspiracy, where the whispers in the night served as an ominous prelude to a fate entwined with forces beyond mortal comprehension. The key to her salvation or doom lay shrouded in the shadows, and the darkness that clung to her soul whispered of an impending reckoning. The sleepless descent. Emily's nights became an unending descent into the abyss, a relentless freefall through the chasms of darkness. Sleep, once a respite, now eluded her like a phantom lover slipping through her desperate grasp. The whispers in the night had grown into a cacophony, an incessant chorus that echoed through the caverns of her mind. Exhaustion became Emily's constant companion. Dark circles etched beneath her eyes, and her once vibrant spirit flickered like a feeble flame in the ever-growing shadow. The waking world blurred into a surreal nightmare, and the boundaries between dreams and reality disintegrated, leaving her in a perpetual state of disorientation. Driven by an inexorable need for answers, Emily's quest led her to the fringes of the occult. Ancient texts spoke of a ritual to banish the malevolent sleeper, a dark ceremony that danced on the razor's edge between salvation and damnation. The ritual required a sacrifice, a steep toll that left Emily grappling with the ethical dilemma of saving herself at the expense of another. As the sleepless nights wore on, Emily's descent into darkness mirrored the malevolent force that clung to her soul. Shadows materialized into grotesque forms, and the air crackled with an ominous energy. The apartment itself seemed to breathe with a malevolent sentience, as if it conspired with the unseen forces that sought to drag Emily into the abyss. In the darkest corners of her mind, Emily contemplated the unthinkable. The whispers, now more urgent than ever, goaded her towards the ritual, promising liberation from the torment that had become her existence. Yet, the price demanded by the dark forces lurked in the shadows of her conscience, a haunting specter that cast upon her every thought. Haunted by the ethereal voices and the creeping shadows, Emily grappled with her own morality. The weight of the impending ritual pressed down on her like a leaden shroud, and the sleepless nights became a crucible of torment. Friends and family, noticing her deteriorating state, urged her seek help, unaware of the malevolent forces that held her in their grip. The ritual loomed like an ominous specter, its dark allure tempting Emily with the promise of reprieve. The sacrifice, however, was an ever-present specter, a moral dilemma that gnawed at the fraying edges of her sanity. The whispers in the night grew more insistent, pushing her towards a precipice where the line between right and wrong blurred into a murky abyss. As Emily stood on the brink of the sleepless descent, the malevolent sleeper stirred in the shadows, its presence casting a long, looming shadow over her fragile reality. The fifth chapter of her nightmarish odyssey had begun, a journey into the heart of darkness, where the sleepless nights became a crucible for a choice that would shape the course of her existence. The descent into the abyss intensified, and the ritual awaited, like a malevolent siren, its call growing louder with each passing night. The cursed artifact. In the heart of Emily's torment, a cryptic revelation beckoned her towards a forsaken artifact, a relic woven into the tapestry of nightmares. Whispers, laden with the weight of ancient secrets, guided her to an antique store nestled in the shadowy corners of the city. The shop, its windows fogged with the residue of forgotten tales, exuded an aura of otherworldly mystery. As Emily crossed its threshold, a time-worn bell chimed, heralding her descent into a realm where the line between the mundane and the supernatural dissolved. The shopkeeper, a gaunt figure with piercing eyes, regarded Emily with a knowing gaze. In hushed tones, he spoke of the artifact, a cursed object that bridged the realms of dreams and reality. Intricate carvings adorned the ancient relic, depicting scenes of torment and ethereal realms where shadows danced with malevolent grace. The artifact's history unfurled like a tenebrous tapestry. Legends spoke of a forgotten cult that had sought to commune with dark entities through forbidden rituals. The artifact, a conduit for the malevolent sleeper, had been crafted with blood and incantations, its purpose veiled in the sinister embrace of the occult. As Emily held the artifact in trembling hands, a surge of energy coursed through her veins. Whispers emanated from its very core, revealing the ritual that could banish the malevolent sleeper and silence the relentless torment of her nights. However, the ritual demanded a sacrifice, a soul offered willingly to the shadows, a toll that echoed with the screams of the forsaken. Haunted by the weight of her choices, Emily grappled with the morality of the path laid before her. The artifact seemed to pulse with a dark sentience, an ancient intelligence that scrutinized the depths of her soul. Shadows clung to its edges, casting an ominous pallor over the dimly lit room. The shopkeeper, an enigmatic guardian of forgotten lore, spoke of the consequences that loomed on the periphery of the ritual. The malevolent sleeper, once awakened, would not easily relinquish its grasp on the waking world. The sacrifice would bind Emily to a fate entwined with the shadows, a life haunted by the echoes of her choice. As Emily left the antique store, the artifact nestled in her possession, the weight of destiny pressed upon her shoulders. The whispers in the night grew more urgent, a dissonant chorus urging her towards the precipice where salvation and damnation converged. The artifact, a key to the realms unseen, pulsed with a malevolent energy that mirrored the heartbeat of the sleeper itself. The sixth chapter of Emily's nightmarish odyssey unfolded, and the artifact became both a beacon of hope and a harbinger of doom. As she stood at a crossroads of her fate, the shadows deepened, and the ritual beckoned like a macabre dance with destiny. The cursed artifact, now inextricably linked to her destiny, whispered of a path paved in darkness, where the boundaries between dreams and reality crumbled, and the malevolent sleeper awaited its awakening. The ritual unveiled. Emily, clutching the cursed artifact like a talisman of fate, stood at the precipice of a choice that would irrevocably alter the course of her existence. The whispers in the night had reached a fevered pitch, urging her towards the ritual that promised liberation from the malevolent sleeper's insidious grasp. The ritual, unveiled through the cryptic messages of the artifact, demanded a convergence of cosmic forces and a sacrifice that transcended the boundaries of the mortal realm. Emily, torn between the echoes of her humanity and the inexorable pull of the shadows, faced a decision that echoed through the corridors of destiny. As night fell, casting the world in an inky shroud, Emily prepared to embark on the dark journey that awaited. The cursed artifact seemed to hum with anticipation, its malevolent energy resonating with the shadows that gathered around her. The whispers, now a chorus of spectral voices, guided her through the intricate steps of the ritual. The chosen location, an abandoned chapel hidden in the heart of a forgotten forest, became the stage for macabre dance between realms. The air crackled with an ethereal energy, and the shadows seemed to writhe in anticipation. Emily, haunted by the gravity of her decision, stepped into the sacred space, the echoes of her footsteps reverberating like a funeral dirge. The ritual unfolded with a surreal elegance, guided by the cryptic instructions whispered by the artifact. Symbols etched in blood adorned the floor, and incantations woven into the fabric of forgotten tongues echoed through the desolate chapel. Emily, the conduit between worlds, felt the pulse of the malevolent sleeper resonate with each intonation. As the ritual reached its zenith, the shadows coalesced into a palpable force, twisting and undulating like tendrils of darkness. The whispers, now an otherworldly hymn, reached a crescendo that reverberated through the chapel and into the recesses of Emily's tormented soul. In the final act, the sacrifice awaited, a willing soul offered to the malevolent sleeper in exchange for freedom from the nightmarish descent. The echoes of the artifact's warnings reverberated in Emily's mind, the weight of the impending choice pressing upon her like a leaden shroud. As the shadows converged, Emily glimpsed the spectral figure, the unseen presence that had haunted her dreams. It stood at the edge of the ritual, a silent witness to the cosmic drama playing out. Recognition flickered in its featureless visage, a mirror to the torment etched across Emily's face. The whispers, now a mournful lament, urged Emily to complete the ritual, to offer herself as the sacrificial lamb in the shadowy altar of the malevolent sleeper. The echoes of her humanity clashed with the allure of the shadows, and the line between right and wrong blurred into a murky abyss. In the chapel's dim light, Emily faced the precipice of her destiny. The malevolent sleeper, its presence now palpable, awaited the culmination of the ritual. The seventh chapter of her nightmarish odyssey had unfolded, and Emily stood at the crossroads, where the ritual's dark tapestry wove threads of salvation and damnation into the very fabric of her being. The shadows, now an indomitable force, whispered of an irreversible choice that would echo through eternity. Nightmares manifest. The chapel fell into an oppressive silence as Emily, teetering on the precipice of her own fate, grappled with the weight of the ritual's impending choice. The shadows, woven into a sentient force by the arcane energy of the cursed artifact, seemed to converge with a palpable malevolence. Time itself held its breath in anticipation. The unseen presence, the spectral figure that had haunted Emily's dreams, lingered at the periphery of the ritual. His form wavered between the ethereal and the corporeal, a silent witness to the cosmic drama unfolding within the desolate chapel. As Emily's trembling hand clutched the cursed artifact, the whispers in the night, now a discordant symphony, urged her towards the final act, the sacrificial offering. Her own soul, laid bare on the shadowy altar, beckoned as a solemn choice, a gateway to liberation or eternal torment. A chilling realization coursed through Emily's veins. The malevolent sleeper, its essence now tangible, held dominion over the unfolding ritual. The shadows deepened, intertwining with her very essence, as if claiming dominion over the fragments of her humanity. The echoes of moral dilemma reverberated within the chapel's sacred walls. Emily, torn between the desire for escape and the semblance of her own morality, stood as a mere mortal tethered to the whims of cosmic forces. The spectral figure, once a faceless observer, seemed to convey a haunting sympathy, its presence a reflection of the torment etched upon Emily's soul. With a heavy heart, Emily spoke the final incantations, her voice a fragile thread in the cosmic tapestry. The shadows stirred, becoming a maelstrom of darkness that eclipsed the chapel's feeble light. A surge of ethereal energy enveloped her, and the malevolent sleeper, stirred from its ageless slumber, manifested in a nightmarish spectacle. The boundaries between dream and reality shattered as the malevolent force materialized before Emily. Its form, a grotesque amalgamation of shadow and despair, loomed over the chapel like an ancient god awakened from eons of slumber. The whispers, now a cacophony of tormented souls, echoed through the hallowed space. The spectral figure, once a passive observer, stepped forward, its featureless visage now a canvas of empathy and sorrow. In that ephemeral moment, Emily sensed a connection that transcended the veil of the ritual, a shared destiny entwined with the malevolent sleeper's eternal wakefulness. As the shadows reached a crescendo, Emily faced a choice that would echo through the corridors of eternity. The sacrificial offering, poised on the brink of surrender, became a vessel for the malevolent sleeper's insidious influence. The chapel, a battleground between realms, bore witness to a cosmic struggle that defied the limitations of mortal understanding. In the wake of the ritual's climax, a haunting silence enveloped desolate chapel. Emily, now a conduit for the malevolent sleeper's essence, stood at the nexus of dreams and reality. The 8th chapter of her nightmarish odyssey had unfolded, and the consequences of her choice resonated in the shadows that clung to her soul. As the malevolent sleeper's influence seeped into every fiber of her being, Emily's existence became an eternal wakefulness, a nightmarish tapestry woven with threads of cosmic dread. The spectral figure, once a silent observer, faded into the shadows, leaving Emily to confront a fate entwined with the very essence of the malevolent sleeper. The chapel, now a sacred relic of a bygone ritual, stood as a testament to the irreversible descent into a perpetual nightmare from which there was no escape. The descent in darkness. The chapel, once a sanctuary of faith, now bore witness to the aftermath of the ritual, an eerie stillness that clung to the air like a shroud. Emily, the conduit for the malevolent sleeper's essence, stood at the epicenter of a cosmic convergence, her existence now a dark tapestry woven with the threads of perpetual dread. As the echoes of the ritual's climax subsided, dissonant silence enveloped the chapel. The malevolent force, having awakened from its ageless slumber, pulsed within Emily, an insidious presence that defied the boundaries of dreams and reality. The spectral figure, its faceless visage now tinged with sorrow, lingered in the shadows as a silent harbinger of the irreversible descent into darkness. The chapel's sacred walls seemed to breathe with an otherworldly energy, the malevolent sleeper's essence intertwining with the very fabric of its surroundings. Emily, her eyes now mirrors, reflecting the shadows that clung to her soul, faced a reality warped by the malevolent force that now coursed through her veins. As the spectral figure approached, a silent communion unfolded, a shared destiny entwined with the malevolent sleeper's eternal wakefulness. Its presence, once a source of dread, exude empathy, as if lamenting the tragic fate that had befallen the tormented dreamer. In the wake of the ritual, Emily's perception of time and space became a distorted kaleidoscope. Night and day merged into an eternal twilight, and the boundaries of the chapel wavered like ephemeral illusions. The malevolent force, having ensnared her essence, whispered promises of forbidden knowledge and the key to unlocking the mysteries of the unseen. Emily, now adrift in a surreal dreamscape, confronted manifestations of her deepest fears and regrets. The malevolent sleeper, a puppeteer of cosmic horrors, orchestrated a nightmarish ballet that unfolded in the recesses of her subconscious. The spectral figure, a spectral guide through the labyrinth of her own mind, offered glimpses of forgotten memories and untold truths. With each step into the abyss, Emily's sense of self unraveled. The chapel, once a tangible sanctuary, dissolved into a shifting dreamscape where the laws of reality bowed to the malevolent sleeper's influence. Shadows danced in macabre revelry, and the whispers, now a haunting symphony, narrated the tale of her eternal wakefulness. In the depths of her descent, Emily faced the echoes of her past, the tendrils of a forgotten history entwined with the malevolent force that now dictated her reality. The spectral figure, a silent witness to her innermost struggles, guided her through the labyrinthine corridors of her own psyche. As the malevolent sleeper reveled in the echoes of its triumph, Emily grappled with the paradox of her existence. The chapel, now a spectral nexus between realms, stood as a monument to the irreversible choices made in the name of escape. The ninth chapter of her nightmarish odyssey unfolded, and Emily descended further into the abyss, her perception of self and reality dissolving into the ever-shifting shadows of perpetual dread. Eternal wakefulness. The spectral figure guided Emily through the maelstrom of her fractured consciousness, a companion in the shadowy recesses of her own mind. As they traversed the labyrinth of memories and fears, the malevolent sleeper's essence whispered promises of arcane knowledge, eternal wakefulness, and the semblance of control in a reality unhinged. The chapel, now a mere semblance of its former self, manifested as an ethereal dreamscape where the boundaries between dreams and reality dissolved. Emily, ensnared in the malevolent force's grasp, grappled with the paradox of her existence, a puppet entwined in a cosmic dance, orchestrated by an entity beyond mortal comprehension. The whispers, now a mournful dirge, echoed through the surreal landscape. The spectral figure, once a harbinger of dread, now became a beacon of understanding, revealing the threads that connected Emily's past to the malevolent sleeper's insidious influence. Forgotten memories resurfaced, each one a revelation and a testament to the inescapable grip of the shadows. As the malevolent force reveled in its triumph, Emily confronted the consequences of her choices. The chapel, now a spectral nexus, bore witness to the irreversible descent into eternal wakefulness, a realm where the lines between self and shadow blurred into an indistinguishable amalgamation. The spectral figure, its enigmatic presence, a constant reminder of the cosmic forces at play, conveyed a silent acceptance. Emily, guided by an inner resolve, embraced the malevolent sleeper's essence, as if surrendering to a fate written in the stars. The shadows, once agents of dread, now cradled her existence like a shroud. In the chapel's ever-shifting dreamscape, time lost its meaning. Emily's perception of eternity became a surreal journey through realms untold. The malevolent sleeper's whispers, now a soothing lullaby, promised an existence beyond the constraints of mortality, a perpetual wakefulness that transcended the boundaries of time and space. The spectral figure, Its form, flickering like a fading ember, lingered at the edge of Emily's consciousness. Its final gaze conveyed a poignant farewell, a recognition of the sacrifice entwined with her eternal wakefulness. As the chapel dissolved into the cosmic abyss, Emily faced the unknown with a semblance of serenity. Eternal wakefulness became her reality, a dance with shadows that stretched into the fabric of the cosmos. The malevolent sleeper's essence, now intertwined with her very being, offered a semblance of control in the surreal expanse of perpetual dread. The spectral figure, having served its purpose as a guide through the labyrinth of her own mind, faded into the cosmic tapestry. In the aftermath of the ritual, the chapel, now devoid of tangible form, existed as a lingering echo in the recesses of Emily's consciousness. The malevolent sleeper's whispers, once a haunting symphony, became a comforting murmur, a surreal lullaby that cradled her existence in the eternal wakefulness. As the cosmic dance unfolded in the shadows beyond mortal understanding, Emily's essence merged with the malevolent sleeper's influence. The 10th and final chapter of her nightmarish odyssey concluded, leaving Emily suspended in the perpetual twilight of her own creation, an eternal wakefulness that defied the boundaries of dreams and reality. The story's end was a cosmic enigma, and the shadows whispered of an existence entwined with the malevolent sleeper's eternal embrace.